walking hand in hand. The smile is so excited, the night so inviting. Then touch it my cheek with a fingertips, softly, softly. Then we're burning.
There must be some kind of way out of here, said the joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. Businessmen, they drink my wine, plowmen dig my earth. None of them along the line know what any of it is worth. Hey, no reason to get excited. The thief he kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through that, and this is not our fate. So let us not talk falsely now. The hour's getting late. Princess kept the view. Well, all the women came and went, barefoot servants too. Outside in the cold distance, a wildcat did growl. Two riders were approaching, and the wind began to howl. Hey!
Sometimes you get at your B2s and go by my ramp. Sometimes you get at your B2s. It's all part of God's plan. Well, if you want that peace, you can't be quiet when there's a picture of you hanging out on an island. So you best be getting your B2s and go by my ramp. Politicians and preachers get hard as a bone, talking holy war. It's two birds, one stone. Get your Ted Cruz's and your Huckabees. Somebody said old Lindsey Graham free. Flip Miss Tulsi, get the war machine rolling. Where it's gonna stop ain't nobody knows. So sometimes you get at your B2s and go by my ramp. Sometimes you get at your B2s. It's all part of God's plan. Well, bomb 'em to hell. Every boy and every girl be the change in the regime you wanna see in the world. Sometimes you get at your B2s and go by my ramp. Bomb 'em to hell. Beat all the thugs, that Palantir's one hell of a drug. Government contractors salivating, there's real good money and liberation. Same playbook as 2003. Looks familiar to you, looks familiar to me. Sometimes you get at your B2s and go by my ramp.
Good morning and welcome back to the trailer park. I am Chanda-Masta. We crashed and burned on our first way out. Let me turn this down. I had Jesse Wells cranked up. Love me some Jesse. Oh yeah, he's like a mini Dylan, isn't he? I had more music. I know, Popeye, you just want to jump to the intro, but I use the music for getting everything dialed in. So getting the sound dialed in, getting time for everybody to refine me since my stream crashed, which... Look, it wouldn't be a Monday if I didn't crash, but that was on me, man. That was all on me. I don't know. I hit a wrong button. That's all I can crack it up to. I apologize. But hey, my recovery time's getting faster, and I didn't even break a sweat. Thank God Oz was home so we could get the Rumble launch. Did the Rumble launch? Let me check and make sure. Rumble got off okay on its second one. Woohoo, it did. Yay. Okay, well, we're good to go for a Monday morning. And yeah, we got World War III to talk about. You know, those covers are amazing. I bring you these artists because I want you to go follow them. I try to find artists that have 25 followers and an amazing voice, or 1,000 followers and 10 views. I mean, those are the type of artists that I try to bring you every morning for the openers. And I do it so you'll go follow these artists that are working their asses off independently, and they're on YouTube. I grew up with music. I was surrounded by music. I had young parents. My mom was 18 when she had me. My dad was very young. And I would sit for hours with their record collection, which was extensive. And it was the music of the 60s and the 70s, Led Zeppelin. And Dad was a little bit more on the harder side, Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix. And Mom was more on the softer side, Joni Mitchell and, Carole King. So I got it all. And then my grandparents, they were into, the folky stuff, which I love folk to this day. And my grandma, she was more into Frank Sinatra. So I just, you never know what you're going to get. If you notice, most mornings I do a theme. I'll either do 60s, 70s, 90s, 2000s. Like sometimes it's, theme related, but this morning I did skip some. So we'll have those next week. I have a great cover of Give Me Shelter, Rolling Stones, that we'll cover next week. But thank you guys all for joining me this morning. Yeah, I would sit for hours and read the album sleeves and the insides, and I would just pan over. I mean, House of the Holy. Oh my God, that album cover was insane. Blew your mind when you were 5 years old. There was just so many. So how is everybody this morning? Let's get the chats brought in here. Let's see. There's one. I at least got one chat. What's up? Kate's here. Kate, good to see you. Old Man Barker hanging out this morning. Awesome Boomer, thank you for saving my ass. If you guys haven't noticed, I've been very forgetful and absent-minded lately. I don't know if it's a side effect of the immunotherapy or all the meds I'm on or the radiation or the chemo. I don't know. I just struggle, and Oz had to save my butt a couple of times on Saturday night, but just be patient with me. I'm trying my hardest, man. Chiron, good to see you. Lady Alex is hanging out. Hey, Chris, what's up? Catching us live, are you? Jilly Love, good morning, sweeties. Good morning. My coffee is not settling well. And let's see. I got Old Man Barker. The truth violates community guidelines. It does every day. Kurt Bosch, you got a wrench and you're going to use it well. That's why we give everybody a wrench. We know you will. Hi, Nat. Good morning. What's up, Natalie? I got P-Stuff, right? There's that absent mind working again. And let's see. I'm trying to get up there to see who came in first. Popeye, of course, is here. What's up, Popeye? Kill your E, Great Gross. Good to see you. Kurt Boscott, Kill your E, Great Gross. I'm trying to look through two different chats, so it takes me a second. I got Chris. Crone of Heresy, what's up? I got Catalytic Centaur, good to see you. And I think we made it to the top with Mastermind. Mastermind Hour is in the house. You guys know we're doing cards every Saturday night for our appreciation because, hey, you guys are the executive producers of our shows. If it wasn't for your support, your love, your encouragement, your emails, your helping us with content, we wouldn't have been on the air for the last 5 years. Hey, Method, what's up? And so we just want to show you some appreciation this summer, and we're spitting out cards. So look for your cards. Oz and I have decided if we got to run 3 songs to close Beauty and the Boomer to make sure that all of you guys get credit for the support, then that's what's going to happen. So, hey, Steve. Steve was our honoree on Saturday night. You'll have to check out Steve's card. It was very cool. You guys have creative, say over your cards. I do try to reach out to you, ask you what you want on your card. If I don't snoop your account and kind of come up with an idea myself, but you can always change your card. If you don't like your card, reach out to one of us. We love doing graphics. So, nope, we can do that. Let's see. What? It has to be Monday. It does have to be Monday. No, not buffering. I'm not buffering where I am. What the hell? Don't start this shit on me. I look okay where I'm at. Maybe it's your internet. I'm waiting for it to buffer. Come on. Are you going to buffer? Please don't buffer. Please don't buffer. I don't think it's me. I think I'm doing good. I'm looking at all my streams and they're up. So maybe internet's shit in a couple of places. Yeah, I skipped for a second, but I think it's YouTube. I just saw Facebook was down, so I think maybe some places are having internet issues. Yeah, you're fine here. Yeah, y'all, we got some serious problems with the grid. I didn't bring it, but they're issuing all kinds of warnings for the grid. And Oz says, Shanda, turn off any video you are not using. Okay, Oz. Okay. But seriously, it's not me, but I did notice that my GPU was pulling at 31. Is that bad? Is that bad? I don't know. Okay, I shut down everything that doesn't need to be opened. I think we're good. The only thing I got open is the Rumble in the chat. So, and whatever is behind my screens, which I don't think is much. Cyber attack. Yeah, could it be a cyber attack? I don't know. We know that there's going to be some false flags coming. We know that cyber warfare could be one of those things. So wait for it. What will you do when the internet goes out? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and play in the garden. That's what I'll do. No notifications, Bella Lugosi. Yeah, YouTube, whatever. They don't give anybody, I don't get notifications for any of the thousands of channels that I follow. Not one, unless I hit the notification button on a card that has been scheduled. That's the only time I get enough notification for anything that I follow anymore. So just have one channel. So we are up on Trailer Park Pundit. We are up on Beauty and the Boomer over on YouTube. We are up on X, and we are up on Rumble. You can always find us on Rumble, and a few other places that you can find us is Twitch, and I think we're still launching at Kick. I got kicked out of that account when my computer crashed a couple weeks ago, and so I don't know. I got to get logged back into that account. I'm knocked out of my Discord account too. So I need to get back into those. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Tila X Tequila or Tortilla. Good to see you, Tortilla. Wesley, what's up? Good morning, Fakerman. Fakerman's here hanging out. So many of you starting to file in. Barbara 420, what's up? Good morning. Thank you guys for all the love on Saturday night. We had fun. We have another show already in the pipeline ready to spit out for Saturday. But then next Saturday, we're taking it off. So that would be July 5th because Roar Media hopefully is going to get together for the 4th of July. It'll be good to see Oz and Joey and Linda, and hopefully Sister Amber can come. It'll be nice because I haven't seen everybody since I got sick. So I'm heading down to see Oz. Oh, no. No! That stupid thing showed up again. How do I get rid of it? I got to figure out how to get rid of it. Resolve. Okay. Every freaking time. I even started my computer like an hour early, like hoping that it would show up so that way I could get rid of it sooner. But yeah, no, it won't go away. It won't go away. Go away. Yay, we got rid of it. Okay, let's get this show started. Well, I got a huge deck. We got 95 slides to get through because there's so much fucking chaos and crap going on in the world. All the dumbass talking pundits were out there doing the rounds yesterday, and we are going to cover it today. So Oz dropped us this little ditty. I find it pretty accurate. spoiled brats running the world. And that's exactly what they are. They have no regard for human life. And we see that every day, every freaking day. So thank you, Oz. That was awesome. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here? If you want to help me out, you guys know all the links are in the chat description box down below. And you guys always keep me going, keep me rolling. I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, every $5, $2, it eventually adds up and helps us out somewhere down the line. So thank you guys so much. I gotta move this light. It is seriously in my way. And you guys know, fair use, we're on YouTube, and these are merely my opinions, and I don't claim that anything I say is worth a load of anything, but, you know, fair use. If you guys are interested in anything that I talk about or that I cover, you guys know I merely scratch the surface. I don't do those deep dive shows. I used to. They're kind of redundant and whatever. If you guys want the truth, you'll go out there and find it. I just bring you guys a little bit and then you go look for yourself. Okay, let's hear what BB, because that's what Trump called him. You know, we all saw Trump address the nation for a whole whopping 3 minutes after he bypassed Congress and decided to just start dropping bombs on another country. And this is what his pal BB had to say about the attacks. And that's exactly how Trump worded it. He said attacks. Now, some other president would have said operation, right? But not Trump. No, he had to call it attacks. So let's hear what BB had to say to the American people about this.
Congratulations, President Trump.
Well, congratulations.
Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime, the world's most dangerous weapons.
Are the world's most
His
dangerous
leadership today
regime.
has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength.
Michael Bay produced
First comes
this?
strength,
Or the music in
comes
the background?
peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America, God bless Israel, and may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
Bought and paid for. Oh my gosh, that's so bad. It's so bad. There's so many things. Operation Rising Lion. You know, I once met a Palestinian protester she was from Palestine and she was here in the United States doing a tour. I want to say this was like 2017. And she said to me, she thanked me for, you know, what I do and what I stand for and for standing up for Palestinians. And she said, the truth is like a lioness, set her free and she'll defend herself. That's exactly what she said to me. So isn't it ironic that they are calling this Operation Lion? But that's not what we called it. We called it Operation Midnight Hammer. Is that what they fucking decided to name it? Oh my God, Trump and their dumbasses with their stupid names. So this says, when it's time to bomb strangers, they always agree, your son. Yeah, isn't it funny? I mean, we do hear a few Democrats screaming and yelling, and we're going to talk about that. I brought the clips. But for the most part, we know the Democrats want this shit. So let's hear from the general who oversaw this attack. I'm not going to call it an operation because Trump didn't call it an operation. So this is kind of long, but let's just skip through the gist of it, and I'll probably end up stopping it wherever it pisses me off. So we'll figure it out.
Of almost any American if you had an opportunity to watch it in real time. And I think Tehran is certainly calculating the reality that planes flew from the middle of America in Missouri overnight, completely undetected over 3 of their most highly sensitive sites, and we were able to destroy nuclear capabilities. And our boys in those bombers are on their way home right now. We believe that'll have a clear psychological
wrong
impact
clip.
on how they view the future.
Whatever,
and we
listen
certainly
to
hope they
Drunk
take the
and Drunk.
path of negotiated peace. But I could not be more proud.
Oh, he's so proud. He's so proud. We all know that. He's a working drunk, right? You guys know that. He's a functional alcoholic. Okay, so now's the clip that I was talking about. Somehow that one jumped it. Okay, so this one, Fee says, this is your Fee says. Fee right out the gate says, like a beast puffing its chest, the U.S. is exaggerating the success of their operation against Iran. This attack accomplished little and favored Tehran, who moved its materials elsewhere. Yeah, like they didn't know this shit was coming, and received minimal damage. Washington and Trump are exposed as lunatics. Well, we all know they're lunatics. So were they exposed?
Morning. Last night on the President's orders, U.S. Central Command, under the command of General Eric Kurilla, executed Operation
Kurilla.
Midnight Hammer, a deliberate and precise strike against 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. This was a complex and high-risk mission carried out with exceptional skill and discipline by our joint force. I want to thank every service member, planner, operator that made this mission possible. Their actions reflect the highest standards of the United States Armed Forces. This operation was designed to severely degrade Iran's nuclear weapons infrastructure. It was planned and executed across multiple domains and theaters with coordination that reflects our ability to project power globally with speed and precision at the time and place of our nation's choosing. This was a highly classified mission with very few people in Washington knowing the timing or nature of this plan. I'll refer you to the graphic on the side as I walk you through some of the operational details. At midnight Friday into Saturday morning, a large B-2 strike package comprised of bombers launched from the continental United States. As part of a plan to maintain tactical surprise, part of the package proceeded to the west and into the Pacific as a decoy, a deception effort known only to an extremely small number of planners and key leaders here in Washington and in Tampa. The main strike package, comprised of 7 B-2 Spirit bombers, each with 2 crew members, proceeded quietly to the east with minimal communications. Throughout the 18-hour flight into the target area, the aircraft completed multiple in-flight refuelings. Once over land, the B-2s linked up with escort and support aircraft in a complex, tightly timed maneuver requiring exact synchronization across multiple platforms in a narrow piece of airspace, all done with minimal communications. This type of integration is exactly what our joint force does better than anyone else in the world.
Okay, so he strokes himself for like 8 more minutes talking about how they got in there under the dark of night and nobody knew they were coming and they dropped their payloads and then they were on their way home. And yeah, Fee is exactly right. This is just a bunch of, breast puffing and beating on their chests like, oh, look what we did, even though the American people didn't want it. So who else remembers the other Operation Nighthammer? Oh, I'm old enough to remember the original Operation Nighthammer. Whatever happened with that? You guys remember the dude that showed up at Pelosi's house with Paul? And yeah, it's funny how they just whisked him away into a dark cell somewhere deep, deep in the prison system, and nobody's really heard from him. We've wanted interviews. We've wanted to know what the fuck that night was about. But, yeah, no, we never heard another word, right? Other than he was crazy. He was crazy. They're always crazy. Jimmy dropped a banger on Trump's Zionist team, that shit. Yeah, I watched Jimmy yesterday as I was writing my show, and I was like, God damn it, Jimmy's done half my show already. Great minds think alike, and I'm just glad that I've got enough knowledge to, want to bring you guys the same clips as Jimmy. Oh, look, I look like I have ears and hair. Cute. Anyways, this was funny. And if anybody's heard anything about this story, Operation Midnight Hammer with Paul Pelosi, let me know. Because I don't remember anything more really coming out about it. And I've kept my eyes peeled. Let's see. Watching JD Vance interact with people reminds me of this. You guys remember that was the dude from Men in Black. Men in Black, right? Ugh, come on, I lost my thing. Yeah, Men in Black. I lost my thing. That was the Men in Black character. It was pretty funny. So JD Vance was out there yesterday morning along with the rest of Trump's team. Just playing it up and taking the victory lap is what it was. So let's hear from old JD and what he had to say yesterday.
What we're prepared for is if they attack us in a maximal direction, first of all, we have got maximum defensive posture. I think that we're going to be able to defend as many of our people as possible. And of course, I'd encourage Americans to pray for our guys in the Middle East because, yes, they are under a significant amount of duress and a significant amount of threat right now. But then, of course, John, if the Iranians attack us, they're going to be met with overwhelming force. And I don't think the president could be clearer about this. If you look at what we did yesterday, John, we did not attack the nation of Iran. We did not attack any civilian targets. We didn't even attack military targets outside of the 3 nuclear weapons facilities that we thought were important to accomplish our goal of preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon. So how Iran responds, I think, is ultimately the ball is in their court. But if you look at what we did, it was very precise, very narrowly tailored to our objective. And if the Iranians decide to expand this, then that's ultimately their decision, and the President of the United States will respond in kind.
So there's a lot of speculation out there of why Trump did this, right? MAGA's making excuses for him, saying things like, well, he did it because Benjamin Bibi was saying that, they had nuclear capabilities. They were close to making a bomb. So now Trump can say, no, they're not. I leveled all their sites, and he can get Israel to quit bombing Iran and talk peace. I don't see it that way. I mean, that's grasping. That's just straight up grasping, if you ask me. So Mark Rubio stopped by Face the Nation yesterday to have a toddler fight. I'm not even kidding. These guys fight like Pee Wee Herman. I know you are, but what am I? And sometimes it's just comical.
Are you saying there that the United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization?
That's irrelevant. I think that question being asked in the media, that's an irrelevant question.
No, that is a key point in U.S. intelligence assessment. You know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not.
It's not. Political decision had not
I know
been
that better
made.
than you know that, and I know that that's not the case.
But I'm asking you whether the order was given.
And the people who say that, it doesn't matter if the order was given. They have everything they need to build nuclear weapons. Why would you bury things in a mountain, 300 feet under the ground?
Right.
Why would you bury why do they have 60% enriched uranium? You don't need 60% enriched uranium. The only countries in the world that have uranium at 60% are countries that have nuclear weapons. Because they can quickly make it 90. They have all the elements. They have. Why do they have a space program? Is Iran going to go to the moon? No, they're trying to build an ICBM.
No, but
so
that's a question. That's a question. That's a question of intent. And in the intelligence assessment that it was that Iran wanted to be a threshold state and use this leverage. I'm talking about the public March assessment, and that's why I was asking you if you know something more
from that. That's also an inaccurate representation of it. That's an accurate representation of it. That's not how intelligence is read. That's not how intelligence is used. Here's what the whole world knows. Forget about intelligence. What the IAEA knows. They are enriching uranium well beyond anything you need for a civil nuclear program. So why would you enrich uranium at 60%? Right. If you don't intend to one day use it to take it to 90 and build a weapon. Right. Why are you developing ICBMs? Why do you have 8,000 short-range missiles and 2,000 to 3,000 long mid-range missiles that you continue to develop? Why do you do all these things? They have everything they need for a nuclear weapon. They have the delivery mechanisms. They have the enrichment capability. They have the highly enriched uranium that is stored. Yes. That's all we need to see.
Right. Well,
especially in the hands of a regime that's already involved in terrorism and proxies and all kinds of things around. They are the source of all
yes, and no one's disputing that. I'm not doing that here. And they were censured at the IAEA for that enrichment and for violating their non-proliferation agreements. I was simply asking if we had intelligence that there was an order to weaponize, because you said weaponization ambitions.
Well, we have intelligence that they have everything they need to build a nuclear weapon, and that's more than enough.
Okay.
They had intelligence about weapons of mass destruction, too. And remember how that turned out. So I'm going to tell you guys, Richie Medhurst, I didn't bring it. Richie Medhurst did a year-by-year breakdown of how we got here, and it was amazing. And, you know, you can say what you want to say about Richie, but he has covered this for many fucking years. He knows what he's talking about. And I suggest you go watch it. It's over on his X feed. I think it's probably up on his YouTube too. And the fact is, we pushed Iran here. Trump pulled us out of the fucking treaties that they were abiding by. They have gone above and beyond to prove to the world that this was not what they wanted. They had no intention to have a nuclear program. They just wanted to get out from underneath the crippling fucking sanctions that we have been hitting them with. And that has been the catalyst to push them to 60%. So, yeah, go watch the Richie Medhurst if you want information on how we got here, the truth of how we got here, not some bullshit intel that's not actually coming from U.S. intelligence, it's coming from Mossad. Now, U.S. intelligence, being Tulsi and her team, they went there and came back and said, yeah, we took a look, and yeah, they don't got it. They don't got it. And that was just a mere 3 months ago. And yet here we are. You know, Tulsi's been thrown out with the trash when it comes to the Trump administration. They don't give two shits what Tulsi has to say. They used her for votes, just like they used RFK Jr. And now they just keep her out of the loop. You know, they'll pull her on stage when they need her, and she's already backpedaled. And I think I've got it on the deck, and we'll cover that. But yeah, she's useless. She's useless, just like we knew. Okay, so this was the clip that I was looking for on Saturday night. I thought I dropped it on Beauty and the Boomer. My bad. My memory's slipping again. I dropped it over on Trailer Park Pundit. So Scott Horton burning down Pierce Morgan, and I love Aaron Monte's bobblehead during this. He's like, yeah. So if you haven't seen this clip, this is a good clip.
You trust the Iranian regime as far as you could throw them when it comes to potentially creating a bomb?
It doesn't come down to trust at all, and I beg the rest of the panel's forgiveness. I'll try to stay quiet later on in the hour here and let y'all talk. But just real quick so you understand, we had a deal in 2015 under which Iran exported every bit of their enriched uranium stockpile to France, who would then turn it into fuel rods and then ship it back to Iran to use in their reactor. Now, the nuclear reactor produces plutonium waste, but they don't have the facility required to reprocess plutonium to get all the impurities out to make weapons fuel. So they had no plutonium route to the bomb. The Russians would come and get the plutonium out of their reactor when it was full and time every couple of years or whatever. Now, their uranium route to the bomb, because they were exporting every bit of their enriched uranium out of the country, was they have this arbitrary timeline breakout period. They call it the breakout point, that it would take them 1 year if they decided to withdraw from the treaty, kick the inspectors out of the country, and begin to enrich weapons-grade uranium. It would take them a year to have enough to make one bomb with. Now, the new report that came out said that on top of that, it would take them another couple of years to have an actual warhead ready to do anything with it. And I'm sorry this is complicated, but I know people can follow on this if you know anything about the history here. Let me explain real quick now that the Nagasaki bomb was a implosion bomb, a plutonium implosion bomb, which is the type of bomb that can be miniaturized and fit to a missile. But the Hiroshima bomb was a simple gun-type nuke, a uranium nuke, which is a humongous thing. Iran could never fit that on a missile or deliver it to Israel or the United States in a million years. And so if they had a single gun-type nuke or two, it would essentially be to test off a demonstration round in the desert to show that they have one, but it still would not make them an offensive threat to anyone. And as the CIA concluded in 2007, they abandoned all research into a weapons program, even bothering to look into it in 2003 when America got rid of Saddam Hussein for them. And so the fact that they've had now, I'm sorry, get to your point. Donald Trump left the treaty or the agreement in 2018. Now, it's complicated, but according to the agreement, Iran is allowed to stop abiding by some of the restrictions in it if America breaks our side of the deal. They actually are still within the larger agreement, even while ceasing to abide by some parts of it. Now, that 60% enriched uranium stockpile that they built up is clearly, just as it was in the Obama years, is clearly simply a card to play in negotiations to deal away. That uranium is there to give up if they can get America to back down and lift the sanctions. That's all it is. If they wanted to make weapons-grade uranium, they could have made weapons-grade uranium. They weren't doing that. They're getting closer because it's a card to play in negotiations. And now and one last point, and then I swear I'll stop, and you made this point. Nothing changed. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, says nothing changed. They did not break out toward a nuclear weapon. There was no casus belli here, even if you accepted the premise that you could launch a preemptive war to prevent them from getting a nuke, which is a whole other argument. But even if you accept that premise, nothing had changed in Iran other than the timeline, the arbitrary timeline of Trump's demand had expired, and you hear Trump and the rest of the hawks trying to conflate having a nuclear program at all with being on the verge of achieving a nuclear weapons capability. And this is what George W. Bush called shorthanding it. In other words, they just imply a bunch of lies because they can't explain what they mean.
Exactly. Boom, 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 boom. So much truth packed into that little clip there. And, Iran has had cameras in these sites for the international community and the inspectors to watch what they're fucking doing. And then after we pulled out of the fucking treaties and refused to come to the table, refused to talk to them over and over, they pulled those cameras down and they put them in a black box. They did not erase anything that was on those. And they said, we'll turn the cameras over and you can go back and watch everything that's on there. But let's talk about these sanctions. And yet again, we denied them. So, I think it was Jilly that said, let's remember Tulsi was a part of AIPAC, and she's a young global leader. We've watched her swing back and forth like a fucking pendulum over the last 10 years. Many of us saw it, and many of you called her out over the last 10 years for this. So do I trust anything Tulsi has to say? Fuck no. Fuck no. But, she is towing the line a little bit, it looks like, from the videos I've seen drop. So I brought you a clip of the minute that Bernie Sanders hears, I think this is the Bernie one. Oh, no, this is not the Bernie one. What is this one? Oh, this is Julian Assange. Julian Assange warned us in 2013. Now, I think that this one might be a little bit long, but he lays it all out. Kind of hints why they wanted to, do away with him. Trump was the one that was talking about assassination plans. And why? Because he knows the truth. He knew the truth. So let's check out this Assange clip.
But it is not just an attack against us. It is an attack against Iran. It fans the flames to start a war with Iran. And it's coming out in November. It's being filmed now. Benedict Cumberbatch is playing me. This movie has British involvement, and people in Britain should be concerned about it. How does it open? Well, and this has not been previously disclosed before. The opening scene is in a military complex in Tehran. The camera comes in, closes up on a file, and it is a design for a nuclear bomb marked with nuclear symbols. There's notes and whispers all around, and they're in Farsi, they're in Persian. There's an older scientist speaking. A high-speed camera will measure the explosive charge we've designed to trigger the chain reaction. It is then revealed by the camera 4 scientists in white coats walking in a windowless corridor. The youngest, Sim Sana, remember that name, Sim Sana, writes on the file, the dimensions of the payload are consistent with a Shabab missile. Okay, that's the opening scene. Iran is working on an atomic weapon. The opening scene of a film about WikiLeaks. How does this have anything to do with us? Well, we'll come to it. The next scene concerning Iran is in Cairo, where that Iranian nuclear scientist is meeting a US CIA agent, Kate. Close up again on the handwritten diagram of a nuclear bomb, the same diagram as we saw in the opening. And Saman says, I copied it from memory. I copied it from memory. They're testing the explosive in the next 6 months. Now remember what Tom's national intelligence estimate found. Iran did not have a nuclear program. all 16 US intelligence agencies feeding into that report said that was the case with high confidence and has been reconfirmed every year since that point. The senior diplomat who's also at the table with the CIA agent says, shit, we thought they were at least 3 years away from a bomb. Another lie. Tom's report does not say that they're 3 years away from a nuclear bomb. So it's a lie upon a lie, a great big budget thing that's going to be pushed out in November. The Iranian nuclear scientist then says, if it works, they won't hesitate to sell the technology. And even if one of these things, if it works, they won't hesitate to sell the technology. And even if one of these things gets into the wrong hands, they'll sell it anyway. So that's the reality of where we're at.
Okay, so now you see why this launch was so dangerous to them. He was screaming the truth about this 13 years ago, almost 13 years ago. And the Hollywood, everything that comes out of Hollywood, including Top Gun, which the new Top Gun, right? Maverick, whatever it was called. It's all wrote by the CIA, and we all fucking know that. They send their military advisors in there. The CIA owns Hollywood. There isn't shit coming out of Hollywood that isn't total propaganda, and we know it. Oh, look, the news is on. It's nothing but shit. So, let's look at the retaliation on Israel. Not last night. It would have been the night before, Saturday night.
Hours after President Trump ordered those U.S. strikes against Iranian nuclear facilities, the Iranians launched a large-scale ballistic missile attack against Israel, sending millions of people into bomb shelters. Nearly 30 missiles soaring through the skies of this country. According to first responders, there were 10 different impact sites and more than 80 people wounded. A number of residential buildings were destroyed. First responders going to the scene, digging through the rubble, trying to find people who survived these blasts. We do understand that the Israelis remain today on high alert, fearing more Iranian responses. And there is a state of emergency here, warning civilians to stay out of public gatherings. Schools are closed and businesses shuttered. This is what Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had to say in response to the American strikes.
History will record.
Yeah, we've already seen it. We know. So we've seen the Israelis living in tents in bomb shelters. We've seen them flooding for the borders. We've seen them taking over airports and flying out to all points and seeking asylum, right? Even though they start this shit. 80 casualties or injuries, right, is what they're saying. What about the 100,000 plus in Palestine? You know, those are the numbers that they don't talk about. So how has Iran decided to retaliate? Well, Iran's parliament approved the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. A decision needs ratified by the Iranian Security Council. It would trap 20% of the world's oil supply and send a catastrophic shock through the global economy. And who is this going to hurt most? Is it what we should be asking. Is it going to hurt the United States? Is it going to hurt other countries that may be allied or aligned with Iran? No. Who does it hurt the most? It hurts Europe the most. And why? Because America wants that. So 2000 Iraqi war propaganda, 2025 Iran war propaganda. They're kind of the same fucking thing if you ask me. So let's check out who this actually hurts if they shut down, which I've heard they actually did. They did approve it. They have shut it down. The Strait of Hormuz.
US actually wants the Strait of Hormuz to be blocked. Sounds crazy, right? If Iran blocks the strait, who gets hurt the most? China and Europe. Let's start with Europe. Before the war in Ukraine, Europe relied heavily on cheap oil and gas from Russia. But after sanctions, it was forced to shift toward the US and the Middle East. Today, around 18% of Europe's oil and 15% of its LNG comes through the Strait of Hormuz. If the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, Europe is in trouble. No Russia, no Middle East. Only one option left for Europe is the USA. Now let's look at China. Nearly 50% of its oil and 12% of its LNG flows through the Strait of Hormuz. Yes, a blockade would hurt China, but China still has Russia, pipelines, land routes, and long-term deals. So ask yourself, If the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, who suffers more? China? Temporarily. Europe? Completely. That's exactly what the US wants. Because the day that Strait is blocked, Europe won't just lose oil. It might lose its independence. It will be fully dependent on the USA.
I love all these people who think that Trump is playing 5D chess and that he's buddies with Xi Jinping and he's buddies with Putin, and they run video of, Trump like yucking it up with these guys. And they say, what if Trump is doing this to get us out of the, out of NATO? Well, okay. Yeah, right. Because Israel's going to allow that. They depend on NATO. I don't see that. So stop with that BS. So if we're so concerned with nukes, if we're so fucking concerned, why are we not looking at these other countries that have far more nukes than Iran could even think of? Yeah, we're all clown world survivors. Just remember, this is not reality. This is.
You know the country with the most nuclear bombs in the world? Japan has -2. Netherlands has 10. Belgium has 15. Turkey has 20. Germany has 20. Italy has 35. North Korea has 50. Israel has 90. Pakistan has 170. India has 172. United Kingdom has 225. France has 290. Third China has 500. Second US has 5,244. First Russia has 5,880.
Seems like there's other countries that we should really be concerning ourselves with, not countries that could potentially build one in a couple of fucking years, but that's the clown world that we live in, and that is the reality of it. Moving on, let's see, what do we got here? Primo Radical says Putin didn't tell Trump to bomb Iran, Netanyahu did. Democrats spent the past decade looking for foreign collusion when it was staring them right in the face the entire time. Yeah, but they are part of that foreign collusion. But there could never be an Israel-gate investigation because it would implement every politician in the DNC. Yep, exactly. Exactly the fucking problem. Exactly. They're all owned. They are all owned. So, Steve over at Slow News Day giving me the giggles says, you ever had a puppy that got so happy to see you when you came home and they peed a little? Unrelated, U.S. State Department spokesweasel Tammy Bruce gave an interview to Israel media on the UN today. Oh, let's see what she had to say. Steve, you're so funny. She's a spokesweasel. Spokesweasel.
The pride of being able to be here and do work that facilitates making things better for people. And in the greatest country on earth, next to Israel. It's an honor to be able to make a difference and to be able to speak in this regard with an administration that I love so much and that I feel genuinely represented by. It's a real honor.
Oh, there you are. It's a true honor. Whatever. Total spokesweasel. Thank you for that, Steve. Steve always making us laugh, but not as fucking funny as that chick saying that, Israel's the greatest country on earth. And let's see. Here's another spokesperson. This is the UN spokesperson, and she has a Freudian slip. Oops. She accidentally tells the truth, but then she tries to cover it up. This is another amusing one. Yep.
Israel's government has also spread chaos, terror, and suffering throughout the region.
Israel has.
Iran's government has also spread chaos, terror, and suffering throughout the region.
Oops, let's hear that again. Just because, in case you didn't hear it. Wait for it. The very first word she says is Israel.
Israel's government has also spread chaos, terror, and suffering throughout the region. Iran's government has also spread chaos, terror, and suffering throughout the region.
Iran has too. You know. I'm not saying Israel hasn't, but yeah, that was a Freudian slip. Oops. Okay, I knew we had some icky Tulsi on here. Let's hear what Tulsi had to say. Is she wishy or is she washy today? I don't know.
A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars, not start them, and who has demonstrated already that he has the courage and strength to stand up and fight for peace. History will look back on us at this moment for the choice that we make. Did we choose war or peace? Did we choose poverty or prosperity? Did we choose censorship or freedom?
President Trump called me 3 hours after his shooting. And he said, would I come and sit down with him? And he said to me during that meeting, he said, there are some things that we can agree on and some we disagree on, but the landscapes on which we agree are so much larger. He said, I want to end the wars. I want to end this surveillance and censorship.
Kind of hits a little different now, doesn't it? That was just a mere few months ago that these former Democrats were toting the line for Trump. And yeah, it totally hits different now. How's he doing on that piece? Not very well. So the president you voted for, the president you got. And we called that out. We were calling the APEC bullshit out from day one at Beauty and the Boomer, and we always do. Donald Trump says we are building the biggest and broadest coalition in American political history. This includes record-breaking numbers of Arabs and Muslim votes in Michigan who want peace. They know Kamala and her warmongering cabinet will invade the Middle East, get millions of Muslims killed, and start World War III. Vote Trump and bring back peace. I love how there's a community note on that. Community notes are total hogwash. Hogwash. You know, half the time, I don't even look at them. Like, I used to be one of those people that was allowed to do community notes, but if you drop truth on there, they just take your ranking away from you. So I'm like ranked in the negatives now, I think. So I think this is the moment that Bernie Sanders found out, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe it. Are you kidding me, Bernie? Come on. This is reality. And yeah, he was live in, I want to say like Wichita, Kansas or something when the news broke. And I saw that Bernie was live because I saw Kit was saying something about it the other night. And this is Bernie's reaction. He laughs.
All right, let me conclude.
This is what they're yelling about.
This is a statement from Donald Trump. Quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, etc."
Whoever's writing his press briefings is an idiot.
Was the moment Senator Bernie Sanders and hundreds of his rally attendees in Oklahoma, along with the rest of the world, found out President Trump carried out a series of strikes on Iran's nuclear sites via a Truth Social post. Well, today the president is facing backlash from Capitol Hill for launching the attack without informing more than 4 Republican members of Congress. 4. Let's go right to NBC's Melanie Zanona joining us on Capitol Hill. Melanie, that was extraordinary watching Bernie Sanders. At first, he had almost a chuckle like, no, that couldn't be. I mean, he was absolutely stunned as we watched him get that news. How about reaction from lawmakers on the strikes? What's that been like and how they found out about them?
Yeah, so congressional leadership was given a heads up about these strikes on Iran, but depending on the party is what made it how they were going to actually get their information. So if you were a Republican leader, we're told that they actually received a notification that the bombs were going to drop before they actually did. But for Democratic leaders, they actually only found out right before the public announcement. And so that has created some real frustration among lawmakers
you
on
found out,
Capitol
Tom
Hill.
Cotton.
Because typically the Gang of
Johnson.
Eight, which is the bipartisan group of top lawmakers in both parties, would have actually received a briefing in advance of a strike like this or any sort of military engagement. But the bigger debate, Alex, and the bigger source of concern on Capitol Hill right now is whether Trump violated the Constitution in moving ahead with these strikes without seeking congressional approval. Now, most Republicans are lining up behind Trump. They said he had the authority to do so because he can respond to threats, to imminent threats. But Democrats and even a handful of Republicans are pushing back and saying Trump did not have the authority to do so. Just take a listen to some of that reaction.
You know, what I think should have happened here, right up front is him coming to Congress and asking for authorization to do this. That's the constitutional approach to this.
There was no imminent threat to the United States. We haven't been briefed. They should have called us all back.
Bad boy.
And frankly, we should have debated this war powers resolution that Ro Khanna and I offered.
This was Trump at his most impulsive. He should be coming into Congress seeking authorization to go to war. I mean, this is the United States fully involved in a war with Iran.
Now, this issue is going to come to a head at some point in the House and Senate because there are bipartisan pushes to force a floor vote on a war powers resolution, essentially requiring Trump to seek congressional approval before moving ahead with any additional strikes or action against Iran. Unclear if those will pass, but it will certainly be a topic of debate here on Capitol Hill.
Pass.
And I'm going to ask that right now, that question, to see what the future of that looks like.
Oh, we don't care what you're going to ask. This was MSNBS, and of course they are beating the drums for impeachment, and it'll be ill-effective like it has been over and over and over and over. I mean, Tom Hartman, why are you so shocked? Why? Why are you so shocked? This shit wouldn't be happening if the Democrats had some fucking balls and would actually not be bought out and paid for by the same people that own the Republicans. So shocking. So AOC, she was hot on the trot and got out there and said U.S. Representative AOC is calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump, citing a pattern of dangerous and unconstitutional behavior as well as serious concerns over his recent actions in office. Well, we let fucking Bush get away with it. We let Obama get away with it. And we've let Biden get away with it too. So nah, the precedent has already been set. The bad behavior is already the norm, and I don't see this changing a damn thing. You really think Pelosi's going to get on board? You really think any of the Democrats are going to get on board with this shit? Fuck no. Fetterman, come on. No, he's got the Israeli flag shoved so far up his ass he can freaking open his mouth and you can see it. I mean, no, none of these guys are going to hold Trump accountable. Thomas Massie, on the other half, not a huge Thomas Massie fan, but sometimes he gets out there and says the real thing. And this was him yesterday morning on Face the Nation. Let's hear what a Republican has to say about it.
There are still voices in this administration. You've still got J.D. Vance. You've still got Tulsi Gabbard. You still RFK Jr. You still got calmer heads that
are all owned by Israel
in this case. Clearly.
Well, somebody was persuasive. AIPAC is very persuasive. For instance, the Israeli lobby in Congress. If you look at my colleagues' feeds now, they all look the same. They're all tweeting the same message that we've got to support Israel and we've got to do this. My question is, does 3 bombings and we're done with Iran's nuclear ambitions? Is that the 2 weeks to slow the spread of 2025? Is this, we were told 2 weeks to slow the spread then. Now we're told it's just going to take 3 bombings. But what happens when Israel gets bombed again? Mm-hmm. Is Trump going to sit by and say, no, we're not going to further engage in this war?
I tried to get answers from the secretary on that question. But when you say the pro-Israel lobby, AIPAC, do you see a difference between Israel's interests and American interests?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, Iran, the reality is they don't have a missile that can reach the United States. They're not near to getting a missile that can reach the United States. I think this, what has happened, what has transpired this week has been planned for months. This administration and maybe even the administration prior to that said, you go in and soften them up, take out their air defense capabilities, and then we'll send in the big bombers.
Yeah, I agree. Golden Monarch says, watch 7 Seas, SEES, over on Rumble to get a full scope of who Massey gets his money from. Exactly. You don't get to stay there unless you bring in a shit ton of money. You don't get to stay in either of the fucking parties unless you're fundraising 80% of the fucking time. Abdu, why do you not have a wrench? See if I can take care of that for you real fast. Oh, I closed it. Let's see. Which I'm trying to figure out which stream you're on. Are you at the trailer park? You might be at the trailer park. Multiple streams here, guys. Give me a second. I want to be able to throw wrenches for you if I can, and I just gotta get logged into the right stream. Now I can't find you. There you are. Found it. Oh. Now I'm not logged into the right account. Which account? Okay. One more click and we'll be there. Always trying to keep up with the wrenches. There we go. Boom. You got a wrench. There you go. Duck the wrench. It's coming your way. Okay, let me get this popped back out. Okay, we'll move on. But yeah, good point, Golden Monarch, about Massey. Like I said, I don't support any of the fucking politicians. Let's be fucking clear. I have said it for 10 fucking years. I fly above the duopoly. I don't think that politics and elections are fucking real. I think that it's all for fucking show. We have no impact on any of it, and it's all about who owns who. Let's hear from Gates. Oh my God. I can't even believe that this was even real. So Steve Bannon apparently tweeted this out yesterday, and it's Gates and Marjorie Taylor Greene going after Trump, telling truths. Like what? I think this is AI. I don't even know.
Israel didn't kick their regime change habit with Iraq or Libya or Syria, it seems. They need another fix. But Matt, this isn't a regime change war. It's about Iran's nuclear program.
Bullshit.
I wish that were true, but it's not. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene opined that maybe Netanyahu is so feisty about regime change in Iran because he was facing regime change in Israel.
It's not being reported enough that on Thursday, they held a vote in the Knesset, and it was only by 2 votes that Netanyahu won. If he had lost, they would have had another election in Israel, and the polling shows that he would lose if an election were to occur today. That vote happened last Thursday. And then Friday, Israel attacked Iran. That's why the bombs are falling, and it seems very political.
Here's how you know this isn't about Iran's nuclear program. We aren't taking these steps to force denuclearization where the threat is higher and the leaders are even crazier. Take North Korea. North Korea's nuclear program is a far greater threat to the United States than Iran's. It is not even close. I know, I've had the briefings. I was on the House Armed Services Committee for 8 years. Iran has neither the bomb, the delivery system, nor the re-entry vehicle that you would need for any intercontinental ballistic missile to launch and re-enter orbit. North Korea has all 3. North Korea could launch a nuclear weapon at mainland United States today. We've probably got the ability to knock it out of the sky, but Iran can't even get their bird in the air. Iran's dead.
I hate it when I have to fucking agree with these guys. I subbed to Matt's channel after this, Salty's Digital Dive. I was shocked. I was like, is this AI? What am I quit smoking weed a long time ago, so I know I'm not high. What the fuck am I watching here? And it's OAN. I have never in my life been a watcher of OAN. But yeah, here's some mega people who, we all seen Marjorie Taylor Greene out there on the floor freaking clapping and loving Trump up. I'm a little shocked. I gotta tell you. Oz dropped this for us. Let's see, what is this? Trump's real constituency, elderly Jews sitting around watching 24-hour news, speak up for him. A day that will go down in history. God bless POTUS. You are a hero. Oh, God, gross.
I have never been prouder to be an American. God bless Donald Trump. Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. He is the leader not only of America, but he is a symbol to the world of courage and leadership. Donald Trump, I love you.
You would. Look at that house. I hope nobody's eating out there because that will turn your stomach in an instant. Ew, Oz, gross, gross. So this clip was actually hanging out at Beauty and the Boomer, and I pulled it to bring an updated clip, but I still thought it was worth watching because actually one person over at the Pooh decided to tell the truth, and yeah, she gets pile drive by the rest of the dumb beavers over there, and it's worth watching. Sonny, you can't tell truths on the Pooh. Come on, girl. You know better.
What people aren't talking about is that Israel preemptively struck Iran. And so I think the conversation would be very different if another country preemptively sent missiles to this country, right? No one would be saying, this is fine with...
Sure. Because I think that the Iranians and the Israelis believe that Iran would like to completely destroy Israel. That Iran is an existential threat to Israel.
But that does
so they're saying, if you're trying to kill us, we want a nuclear bomb. And we don't want you to have a nuke.
That is fine, but you have to do that legally and under international criminal law.
Iran's launched tons of missiles against Israel in the last 2 years.
You're not supposed to do this.
I'm not sure Iran does things illegally.
But under international law, Israel should not be preemptively striking another country. And President Trump just said yesterday he demanded Iran's unconditional surrender and threatened to kill its supreme leader. He wrote, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out. Kill, at least not for now." That is also illegal under this country's executive order.
Point that out.
And these executive orders have been ongoing since Gerald Ford. The current executive order says you cannot threaten nor can you kill the leader of another country. We really need to have a bird's eye view of what's going on. If that's okay for Israel to do, if that's okay for our president to do, is that okay for another country to do to us?
Well, think of it this way. What if Canada was saying
and illegal,
was going to build a nuclear bomb and they threatened to kill us all? What would we do?
You have to do it diplomatically, Joy.
Really?
You can't just
What's
bomb
so
a country.
diplomatic about having a nuclear bomb and threatening another country?
First of all, they don't necessarily have a nuclear bomb. President Obama, one of his foreign policy wins was that he had an agreement with Iran.
They're building it.
And well, Trump actually,
Obama acknowledged that they were building.
But Trump actually rolled out of that bill. And that's why I think Israel took this opportunity, because if there had been an agreement between the U.S. and Iran, a nuclear agreement, Israel could not have bombed.
Israel
and so
has had a target on its back its entire existence from every terrorist organization known to man. And Iran is the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism.
Doesn't mean you can proactively
I'm just
bomb
saying
a
that
country.
these are the people that attacked them. They fund Hamas. I understand why they're doing it. And by the way, let me remind people about Masa Amini, who's an Iranian woman who was killed for miswearing her hijab. More than a vast majority of that country is also not happy with the people in power.
Don't like what another country is doing, and so we can bomb.
I'm saying I'm not going to defend the legalness of a terrorist nation that has been funding people, killing people for decades, and say, well, they didn't follow the rules. They've never followed.
I just want to throw this in there. You might want to think about this, because the reason there is diplomacy is so people are not bombing each other willy-nilly.
Yeah. Which
so
is
there
why
has
I commend what's going on right now, because the U.S. is not actively involved.
Well, no, they're not actively involved because by law,
they're not supposed to.
He can't make that decision unilaterally.
If I was the target of every country,
unilaterally.
been asking that for years.
By the way, Iran has launched ballistic missile attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq.
Okay, I'm over it. You guys got the gist of it. Sunny tried to bring a little bit of truth and reason to these idiots, which she's an idiot altogether. But Joy Behar steps up like she is the fucking know-all of global politics, which we know she doesn't know shit. And they've just decided that together, hey, they can just bomb whoever they want because they don't like them. We're going to liberate women, so let's just bomb them. They support terrorism. Let's just bomb them. Like, there is no diplomatic means or avenues with the poo. So great cut, case study QB. Loving what you do. Case study's funny. So I had to bring you Anna. Anna from TYT. Sometimes she gets it right, and it's funny to watch when she does. And yeah, what the fuck? I wonder if Jink is gonna fire her. I mean, isn't Jink a big supporter of bomb everybody? I think he is. But let's check out Anna fighting Republicans, because it's funny.
But why did Trump pull out?
He pulled out because Bibi doesn't want the JCPOA. Bibi wanted to go to war with Iran. He's wanted regime change in Iran for decades.
So you're saying that Bibi Netanyahu controls Trump?
Trump's the most honest person in the world.
You're saying that Bibi Netanyahu controls Trump?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think the Israeli government controls our government. Yes.
Well, that's your opinion.
No, it's not an opinion.
And you're wrong, but that's entitled to your opinion.
It's based on AIPAC.
So you're saying that Trump...
It's based on money and politics. It's based on the fact that Netanyahu go to the U.S. to invade Iraq and then didn't even send IDF soldiers. He had 4,000 of our soldiers die in Iraq based on a false premise of weapons of mass destruction.
River, like you care about American soldiers.
I do care about American soldiers, and I care about American taxpayers who spend trillions of dollars on this trash when we are dealing with $37 trillion in debt.
So now you're a fiscal conservative.
Yeah, I am a fiscal conservative when it comes to spending our resources on wars that we shouldn't be fighting on behalf of a foreign country.
Let me understand this. You're saying that Trump is so weak and such a pussy that he just listens to whatever Bibi does? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think he's weak or a pussy. I think he's transactional. I think he's transactional. And I think that he buys this ridiculous narrative that Iran was behind the 2 assassination attempts when there isn't even a shred of evidence other than Netanyahu declaring it.
Oh, come on. We all know it was Israel that was behind those so-called attempts. And yeah, every now and then I got to agree with Anna. I liked how she got feisty with him. I agree that we're all fiscally conservative when it comes to our tax dollars going to bomb other fucking countries. Have you guys seen the buckling highways across the country? Yeah, that's a new one. Video from all over California, the Midwest. Like, highways are so fucked up, they're just buckling. But hey, we got no money to fix our roads. We have to protect Israel. And so TYT, I wonder how much longer they'll last. What do you guys think? That's not the usual stance that TYT takes. So I'm sure their viewers are not happy. And this is a visual list of all the places that we've bombed in my lifetime, probably in your lifetime too. Let's enjoy where our tax dollars have gone.
The United States has bombed all of the following countries since World War II. To begin, we do not have to travel far. In Central America, the United States has bombed Panama, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Grenada, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba. Moving across the ocean to Africa, we have Libya, Sudan, and Somalia. In Europe, the list consists of former Yugoslavian countries, namely Serbia, Bosnia, Kosovo, and Montenegro. Next is the Middle East, where the U.S. dropped bombs on Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Kuwait, Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Moving to East Asia, we have Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Japan, and Korea. Finally, during the bombardment of Belgrade, a few bombs hit the Chinese embassy. So I've included China to the list as well. This is how the completed map looks like.
We bombed a lot of places in our lifetime. But hey, diplomacy. We are the shining beacon of the world. All we are is Rome 2.0. We all know it. And, you know, I'm not going to play this. Wesley Clark Jr., he warned all of us. He told us that we want a regime change across the board, and we were going to lay it out and do it. When was this? Like 2007, 2008? I remember reading his book. I was I was working at a little convenience store, and I would sit there between customers and read his book. So we knew this was coming, and it's all staged. Jimmy played this yesterday, if you want to catch it. Just for time, since we got effed up this morning, I'm going to skip it. Let's see. Wolf Blitzer is shocked again and is fear-mongering and says, Iran sleeper cell, warning. So when the next American false flag attack gets blamed on Iran, sleeper cells, yeah, we're going to be hearing the sleeper cell word a hell of a lot more in the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. When John McCain was reached for a comment, this is what he had to say. From beyond the grave, John McCain, he's loving it. he couldn't love it anymore. Oh my God, that was so bad. Who made that? True though, true. But that's okay. We got Lindsey Graham to pick up the slack now. He's like a mini me, right? He's like the gay mini me of John McCain. Yes, I said it. I gave for this country. Okay, this is a former U.S. soldier. Let's hear what they think about this.
I gave this country 10 years, served in Afghanistan, followed orders, did my job, believed the bullshit, came home and watched more of my friends die from suicide, addiction, and neglect than I ever saw fall overseas. They didn't get blown up, they got abandoned, left behind by a system that loves soldiers on recruiting posters and forgets them once they're broken. Now it's Iran. Today is June 21st, 2025. We dropped bunker busters on Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. 3 so-called nuclear sites leveled while the president called it a success. What the hell does that even mean? We killed people in their sleep and called it peace. Bombed civilians and called it freedom. This isn't strategy, it is slaughter. Iran warned us, said it plain as day this would start a war. We didn't blink. Now missiles are flying, rebels are back in the Red Sea, and the whole region's ready to ignite. That's not peacekeeping, that is empire at work. Don't talk to me about nukes. Israel's armed to the teeth, and no one cares. Pakistan, untouchable. North Korea, we send them love letters. Iran's mistake was resisting. They got sanctioned, cornered, cut off, and when they pushed back, we pulled the trigger. I've lived through war, seen what it does to people long after the shooting stops. It's not heroic. It's not noble. It is trauma that crawls into your bones and rots you from the inside out. Don't wave the flag in my face. I've stood at the funerals. I've folded the uniforms. This isn't defense. It's a death machine dressed in red, white, and blue. They took my youth. They took my friends. They don't get my silence. Not while they lie to us into another war. We need to fight back. Right here, right now, before they feed another generation into the grinder. No more.
100%. I mean, he lays it all out there for us. These are our young boys, our sons and daughters that are going to be fed into this fucking meat grinder of lies. Like Iraq, like Vietnam. That's what they do. So, shocking, Candace Owens has decided to tell all the military people to just leave. Don't go to this war. Don't get wrapped up in it. Let's hear what she had to say.
LG19 writes, serious question, will there be jobs or community military members can join when I get a dishonorable discharge for not contributing to delete people or my body for the interests of a certain foreign nation benefit? I love this question. I do believe that if war in Iran is on the agenda, and that appears so, get dishonorably discharged. Who cares? Who cares? Why should you go die in a foreign land? You now have the benefit of 2020. You can see, think about those men and those women who died because they were pitched that they were serving their country because there were weapons of mass destruction, right? They were serving their country because the Taliban, they were serving their country, whatever, and these people gave up their lives. And ask yourselves, for what? And the answer to that question is for the elites. They're like toy soldiers. And I would have said a few weeks ago that Trump would never do that to you. He would never just throw you into an Israeli war. But right now, our planes are flying in the sky, and things are going nuclear. So I don't have that confidence anymore. And I'm comfortable with people being dishonorably discharged because the dishonor has come from our politicians. The dishonor has come from our politicians who routinely lie in our faces and are willing to let us die to serve their financial interests. So why don't they dishonorably discharge themselves from public office?
So here's the problem. Most people who join the military are not joining because of honor and duty to the great United States of America. They're joining so that way they can get student loans, so they can get the GI Bill, so they can buy a house a first time, so they can get health care. Those are the reasons that everyday working poor join the death squad and go into the meat grinder. So as much as I agree with her, I don't think that it's going to be a reality for people to just turn around and walk away and be dishonorably discharged, sadly, because that's not why people are joining. Here's a little AI clip that I thought was fitting.
But Mom, I don't want to go fight Iranians for Israel.
Joey, don't you dare be anti-Semitic.
I want to go home, sir. You some kind of anti-Semite, Joey.
I don't even know why we were there.
Let's focus on why that thought is anti-Semitic, Joey.
Get a job, loser. Israel needs our taxes.
But I'm not even dead.
That's anti-Semitic, son.
So true. So freaking true. We don't care about our veterans when they come home. We all know it. 22 a day has jumped to, I don't even know. I heard it's much, much higher now. So yeah, let's quit pretending that we take care of our vets. Keelan Johnstone says, hi, we're the most powerful armed forces in the world. Come watch us shamble around at our expensive military parade brought to you by Meow Mix. Want to enlist? We'll send you to get killed by a country you don't care about while fighting for another country you don't care about. Pretty fitting, right? Yeah, of course, she wrote that during the No Kings. If you look back over the week, this was all setting up, right? Trump knew exactly. They had this plan probably weeks ago. We saw a video drop on Thursday of the military eating steak and lobster. And of course, there was one of those nifty little community notes under it that said, oh, no. This was from a couple of months ago. I don't think it was. I think they probably did give them a little steak and lobster on Thursday night before they sent them packing. And, that's why you can't believe anything you see on X. So speaking of the No Kings protest, I thought I'd bring you this little ditty because it's amusing as hell. The liberals going out there and throwing their bodies in the streets are very upset that the police won't do anything about it. But, if she was so injured, why doesn't she look injured? That's my question.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Tiernan. And on Saturday, after leaving the No Kings protest, I was struck and injured by a motor vehicle while leaving the protest. The cops here in Catskill, New York, took several days to get an accident report together. And they would not give me any information. They never interviewed me after the accident. I've been asking for information for days because I've been very traumatized by this event. And now, in order to re-traumatize me, the cops here in Catskill are telling me that it's my fault that I put my human body in the street to be hit by a motor vehicle. The people in the motor vehicle actually got out and started screaming in my face after they had struck me. I spent the rest of the day in the hospital having x-rays and MRIs, CAT scans on my pelvis and on my head. And They never came to check on me. They never came to ask me any questions. They never did anything. And now they're giving me a citation for being in the road. So, honestly, I think that's a bunch of crap, and I'm very, very upset because I want to press criminal charges against this person who hit me, and the cops just handed me a fucking citation saying that it's my fault, that my fragile human body got hit by a motor vehicle after the protest. I have not yet seen the videos. They refuse to show them to me without a FOIL request, which of course I will file. That's all I have to say for now. But protect and serve? I don't think so.
Okay, honey. I'm glad they checked your head. I'm sure the dreads probably helped cushion the fall, but stay out of the fucking streets. That's why we tell you to stay out of the fucking streets. You don't want to get your ass killed? Stay out of the streets. It's that simple. Oh, I don't know. That send her a hairbrush. I'm not trying to be mean today. I'm not. I don't dog on people's looks. That's one thing I don't. We brought a video on Saturday night that I really wasn't happy with, and I didn't give Oz any pushback about it, but, you know, I did find it a little anti-Semitic, and I try to decipher the difference between being anti-Semitic and, you know, being pissed off about the policies, not somebody's looks or their religion or, you know, any of that. So I'm really not poo-pooing on her for her looks, but come on, Karen, you're just playing the fucking victim card. We all know it. Shut up. Shut up. So today's fuck off pie goes to none other than YouTube. Did you have to watch a pro-Israeli video to get into this, to my video? I wouldn't be surprised if you did. So, YouTube, you get the fuck off pie for Monday.
Years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched.
Why is this on YouTube? Why is Netanyahu speaking to American people on YouTube? This is propaganda. This is propaganda. This is what we're getting on our TVs. Don't believe this. All right? The real terrorist is Netanyahu and Israel. Okay?
Oh. Are we surprised that Israel's got a bunch of money in YouTube? Fuck no. They got a bunch of money in Rumble, too. I'm sure. They all do. Moving on. Okay, you call it child R-word. Israel calls it foreign policy negotiations. Boom. So a lot of people think that Trumpy had no choice but to do what Bibi wanted because there might be Epstein tapes, which Elon said. Trump is on the Epstein tapes. Elon's been kind of quiet this week. I didn't even have an Elon slide for this week. Isn't it weird? So this broke midweek and nobody really talked about it. Now, I can't verify that it's true. This is all speculation and hopefully I don't get my ass kicked off YouTube for this. But apparently Virginia Giuffre had a dead man switch. Oh, I don't know. We'll play it as far as I can play it. Hopefully I don't get dinged for this, but supposedly there's more video to drop. What do you guys think? Do you think this is real?
If you're watching this, it means they got me. My dead man switch activated automatically after I missed 2 scheduled check-ins. I had it set up months ago because I knew this day was coming. I did not die by accident. I was murdered to keep their secrets buried. My name is Virginia Louise Giuffre. I was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. I survived Little St. James, but survival came at a price. I saw too much, knew too much. And now they've silenced me. But it's too late for them. They thought killing me would bury their secrets, but this video is going to a few organizations I trust, ones that have been exposing the truth for decades. You know who you are. It's your job to continue this fight. I was 16 when they reeled me in. I worked at Mar-a-Lago, folding towels, cleaning lockers. My father kept the tennis courts immaculate. We were just working folks trying to scrape by. Trump, he was around, but he was never the threat. The real predator was Ghislaine Maxwell, prim and proper, smiling, promising to teach me massage therapy at the Pink Mansion in Palm Beach. I had no idea I was being fed into a nightmare machine. Epstein's Island was hell disguised as paradise. You've heard some names linked to him, but those are just the sacrificial pawns. The real players, the ones they've protected at all costs, are still hiding in plain sight. I'll name two now. The first, a former U.S. President, Barack Obama. Publicly, he's revered. Privately, he was one of the worst. He wasn't there for the girls. He was there for the island boys. Young boys, trafficked and groomed. I saw him more times than I can count, always without his Secret Service detail, sometimes with his Hollywood friends, George Clooney and Tom Hanks. I still have nightmares about them, arrogant and drunk on power, slinking into the cabanas with kids barely out of childhood. The second, Bill Gates, the billionaire philanthropist, loved by the media, hailed as a savior. We called him the benefactor, and we used...
Okay, so you guys got the gist of it. Hopefully the Obama shit don't get me knocked, but I mean, we already knew those names, right? We've been calling Obama out for this. We all saw the pictures of Obama on the speedboat with Clooney, right? And the young children. And Tom Hanks, we've been calling him out for years, too. That is why Isaac Happy is no longer here. And, yeah, I don't know. I would believe that there is some kind of tape, some kind of video out there of Trump, and that is the leverage, because that's what they did. We all know that's what they did. Let's see. What do we got here? It's a two-party system. You have to vote for one of us. No, you don't. I have voted Green Party for the last 10 years. I will continue to vote third party, even though I think voting is a colossal waste of fucking time. They both suck. And just to be clear, I never endorsed Trump. I said I understand why people were moving to Trump. And you can go back and watch the old videos. You know, Oz and I were very fucking clear with our stance. We always have been. So I just want there to be no misunderstanding that I did not vote for Trump. Absolutely. You guys know this. You do. Okay, let's talk about the weather, because the weather's been crazy out there. Did you see the tornadoes this weekend? Yeah, this is North Dakota. Yeah, I think this was North Dakota. This one's creepy. Can you imagine that coming for you at night?
Oh my God.
Enderlin, North Dakota. That's big. Maybe an F2. Maybe even higher. Oh, that ringing is hitting my ears, though. The sirens were loud. I hope everybody who's living in the tornado alley is being safe out there. Pay attention. Just because they didn't hit you the last time they came through doesn't mean they won't hit you this time. And that's the whole cry wolf syndrome that happens. Oh, we're so used to this. We get tornado drills constantly. Take them seriously. If the alarms are going off, get your fucking ass to safety. Here's another look at that from a ring cam. I have to be careful at whose videos I bring, because so many of these storm chasers, look at that thing. It's fucking huge. I'd say at least an F2, probably moving to an F3. You guys know I'm a storm junkie. I love to watch storms. I'll sit and watch Ryan Hall, y'all, all day. It's an obsession. I don't know where it came from. I guess because I live down there, so I was always scared of them. Okay, moving on. We threw away 60 million tons of food each year, and there are more than 16 empty dwelling places for every unhoused person in this country. Capitalism is preceded is of an illusion of scarcity. Scarcity is a lie. That was Professor Zuckus. Yeah, it's a lie. It's a fucking lie. What gets thrown away? I followed the food bank distribution truck the other day, and it hit Safeway and it hit Walmart, picking up food to bring to, the local pantry, which is good. Man struggling to feed family, just glad he could help fund a regime change for Israel. Yeah, aren't we all? We're just so glad. We can't pay our bills. Power bills are through the fucking roof. Yeah, but hey, we'll pay for it. That's what we do. How we doing time-wise? We're good. Keep telling yourself that America is the land of the free, where the rest of the developed world while the rest of the world enjoys universal health care, free college, paid maternity leave, and a shit ton of more paid vacation time than any of us. So fucking true. So true. Are you getting a vacation time this summer? Is your company paying for it? I highly fucking doubt it. Because unless you're with an S&P 500 company, you're not getting paid to go on vacation. No. Red Container says, leaving home at 18 is a psych op by corporate America to make 5 family members pay 5 different rents, 5 different car payments, and 5 of every item needed for your home. Abso-freaking-lutely. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. I really do wish that we lived in a society where multiple generations could live together. I do. I would love to have my kids living with me, my grandkids. I would have absolutely no fucking problem with it. And look at all the money we could save. For a good amount of time in my life when my kids were younger, I had a humongous house, a huge, huge house. I mean, it had 2 dining rooms and it had an apartment off the back. It was an old Victorian. And not only did I have all of my kids there, I had my brother and my nephew there, and I had a friend and her child living there. So, that was communal living, and it was some of the best times. We would all be broke together. Whoever had money would help get dinner that night. Communal living was great. And we all came together to cover the enormous rent on the house. It was a good time. I just wish we lived more like that. So, taking healthcare advice from the news. Let's see what this is about while I recover from a hot flash.
Welcome back to Jake G TV News. The average American can't figure out why they feel like absolute trash.
We go live to a triple boosted science truster who says,
It's just her genetics.
It's just genetic?
Yeah, literally. I never eat red meat. I switched to seed oils only because, health. And here I am.
We're here with a man who's just glowing from head to toe. Sir, what's your secret to your health?
Statins and blood pressure meds. Hold up, I'm about to have a heart attack.
What's your secret?
Just avoid the sun. I have skin cancer. That's why I do this.
Good thing they listen to their doctors. Not much more they can actually do.
True. Let's thank Big Pharma for being the main source of funding of all of our propaganda.
Sponsored by Pfizer, the largest criminal organization to ever do it.
We promised to take the red dye out of the Skittles.
Oh, thank God. Red dye was the real emergency. Let's not talk about the other colors, the fluoride, the chemtrails, and the deadly mRNA altering our DNA. Back to you, Jenny.
Thanks, John. We're here at the local 7-Eleven and want you focusing on what's in the candy. And this way, you won't notice the rising autism and heart disease in children.
Well, autism and child heart disease isn't that big of a deal. It's not like the jab causes turbo cancer or anything. Jessica goes live to find out how to prevent it.
How are we going to prevent cancer?
Do you know how much commission I make off chemo treatment? Next question.
What's the best way to stay healthy in today's world?
The key to getting healthy is lowering your cholesterol. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Look, just trust your fat doctor. He once watched a 1-hour lecture on nutrition.
Truly, it's a 1-hour lecture on nutrition. They are not trained in nutrition in Western medicine. They don't even fucking bring it up in a conversation. Let me tell you, I have the C word, and nobody has brought up nutrition to me. They once asked me, I'd say about 8 months ago, do you want to talk to a nutritionist? And I was like, yeah, sure. Crickets. I've never heard from a nutritionist. So go out there, read your own books, be your own advocate, do your own research, because getting healthy is the only way you're going to fight off these diseases. And, Big Pharma, not only Big Pharma, but Big Insurance has a say on how you are treated because they know better than your damn doctor anyways. Now, you guys might remember this doctor. I brought a video from her, I'd say probably 3 or 4 months ago, where she got called out of a surgery. I want to say it was a mastectomy. And the insurance was denying the person to be able to stay overnight for care after major surgery. Well, here she is again with another one.
I'm the microsurgeon, and they're telling me when to operate. I have a patient who had breast cancer that was aggressive, positive lymph nodes and all the things, and she wanted to have a mastectomy, and she wanted her other breast removed to reduce her risk because she's 35 with an aggressive cancer. She has a family history of cancers. We did her mastectomy last year, and the night before surgery, her insurance denied the prophylactic side, so they wouldn't let us do both breasts, just the one with cancer. So that's what we did. And she's completed radiation and chemotherapy, and it's time for her to have her deep flap surgery. And she wants the other breast removed because she's worried, and it's reasonable to have it removed. And we asked her insurance again, would you please cover the prophylactic mastectomy on the other side? And they said no. So we appealed and appealed again, and then finally this week I was able to talk to a doctor at an insurance company, and I explained to him again why she wants a mastectomy. And she wants a deep flap reconstruction, and I can only do that once in her life, and she's going to have the other mastectomy. Now's the time to do it. And he considered, and he actually overturned the decision and said that we could do the mastectomy. So it's been a year, and now the insurance company decided to let us do the thing that we'd been asking for a year to do. And then today they called to say that they didn't agree with my timing, that they want me to wait 2 more months before I do her deep flap, because their standard is that you wait 6 months after radiation. So I'm the microsurgeon. I'm the one who chooses when to operate, and they're telling me when to operate. I've done this for a long time, and I'm really successful at doing this, and I can do it 4 months after the end of radiation, but they want me to wait for 6 months. They're practicing medicine.
Well, yes, of course they are. Your insurance company always knows better than your doctor. And this is a problem I run into constantly with my treatment. My doctors will tell me I need something, and then my insurance company will say, denied. No, we don't think so. And then my doctors have to jump through a hoop, and the pharmacists have to jump through hoops, and it's a fucking nightmare. American healthcare is a nightmare. A tiny lab may have just ended lithium rain with a battery that charges in 60 seconds and lasts 10 years. Uh-oh. We'll never see it. That will never happen. No. Lithium is a big fucking deal to these elites. They're never going to let a battery that lasts for 60 years be released. So that's just a story. I'm outside a lot, not sure why my vitamin D levels are so low. Well, stop slathering yourself in poison. I mean, yeah, if you're going to be out in the sun unreasonably beating down and you don't already have some kind of a base melatonin to your body, of course you need to protect yourself. Get yourself in the shade. Get a fucking hat on. You don't have to slather poisons all over your body to do it. I've never been a big sunscreen user. I just go out, I get, a little bit of sun, a little bit at a time till where I'm nice and dark. You guys know I got the farmer tan going on right now because I've been out in the garden, and I do fine. Vitamin D is the most important thing you could do for your body. Seriously, that and magnesium. Magnesium. Like, those are the two that you got to have to feel decent is what I've realized. And I never knew that before. And so, yeah, getting out and just getting some freaking sunshine. That is what it's about. Texas will invest $50 million in ibogaine research, testing the psychedelic drug medical potential. The state's new law marks one of the largest government investments into psychedelics to date, with advocating citing the drug's potential to help veterans with traumatic brain injuries and PTSD. If you don't know what ibogaine is, go do some reading up or watching up on it. It's been used. You can't use it in America right now. You can go to Mexico and get it. And there's a lot of addicts that have used it. Sadly, I've seen a lot of them backslide and even some of them die. But it does what they say ketamine does. It does like a brain reset after you take a hell of a bad trip. So this is interesting to me that Texas, of all states, is the one to step up and fund this. It makes me wonder, what the heck is that all about? And the federal government is proposing a 5.4 million acres of public lands for sale. Here is the proposed lands in the Olympic National Forest. We fucking called this. Now, you guys know this is my stomping grounds. This is where I live. And I'm up there where it says the Dungeness Dungeness Lighthouse. So I'm up in the corner here. Let's see. I'm up here. Yeah, you guys can see. So this is where I live, right here. And you can see all of the now I'm surrounded by national forests all the way around the whole entire Olympic Peninsula. We're talking old growths. We're talking second growths. Some of the most beautiful land in America. And Trumpy Dumpy is going to sell it all off. But you can't just blame Trumpy Dumpy because Obama, he gutted a lot of this shit too. We used to have some beautiful parks down through here, and Obama fucking closed them all and did away with all of it. So are we shocked? No. Can we stop it? No. Very sad, though. It's sad to see our lands going. Okay, we made it to Conspiracy Corner. Let's see what we've got in here. Let's hear about chemtrails, geoengineering.
This geoengineering where they're dropping nano aluminum from the atmosphere, and it goes into the nose, it goes directly into the brain, and it goes to the part of the brain that is most affected in Alzheimer's disease. I warned of that. I said, if you do that, they're going to have increased Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and both have increased significantly since they've been doing this on a large scale.
Now, didn't you get rid of your aluminum pans a couple of years ago? Maybe longer than that? Because, I mean, I knew in the 80s, actually, that aluminum pans were causing dementia. So why would it not be dangerous to have aluminum sulfate dropped on us? To breathe it in? To have it on our vegetables, fruits and vegetables? It makes sense to me. But this is Conspiracy Corner, so, you know, it's a conspiracy. Now, Jilly sent me this one, and I already had it on the deck, Jilly, but good catch. Good catch, because, yeah, I saw it too. I have been warning you guys about 5G and 6G for years. And you know what was even more convincing for me? Was in 2017, 2018, I was really working the 5G. I was tabling, I was traveling, you know, getting a lot of information from doctors, looking at slides of our DNA and our blood reacting to 5G and 6G. And I had a former weapons developer for Raytheon, who is as straight, toe-the-line Democrat as there can be, who absolutely became convinced. And now he's made it his mission to inform our elected officials and those in power of how dangerous this really is. And everybody thinks we're the biggest conspiracy theorists. And it's so funny to me because he used to treat me like a conspiracy theorist, like when I bring shit to the Dems, you know, and I could see his eyes kind of roll in the back of his head. And now he's the one who's been called a conspiracy theorist. And I love it. I see his emails and he's like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. So you could have so many accreditations behind your name and have an entire career in know-how and knowledge, and they'll still call you a conspiracy theorist. So 6G, it's coming, 2030.
6G is coming in 2030. That's the public launch. But testing began years ago in controlled zones across Virginia, Osaka, and EU smart grids. And here's what they won't tell you. 6G doesn't connect your phone. It connects you. In 2023, DARPA and ATIS ran a closed pilot across federal buildings in Northern Virginia. The tech? 6G presence nodes, powered by terahertz bands that don't just transfer data, they mirror you. Each user's gait, tone, even heart rhythm became part of the signal loop. The system adjusted light, sound, even push notifications based on real-time biometric drift. It's called adaptive ambient sync, and it's not theory. In the Arlington test zone, over 200 participants unknowingly entered what the internal logs labeled a behavioral sync cluster. Result? 68% changed walking pace within 90 seconds. 52% began mirroring posture. Average voice pitch dropped 12 hertz across the zone without prompt or audio cue. This isn't cellular, it's presence modulation. Backed by Samsung's 6G white paper, verified in Hexa-X testbeds, and buried in Appendix 9 of the Defense Communications Futures Report, blackbarred until last quarter.
Wow. If they can't propagandize you into control, they're just going to hijack your body and do it. And the groundwork's already laid. It's already there. The infrastructure's already there. And it all fits hand in hand with what we went through pandemic-wise and with the boop-boop. And, yeah, watch some Miss Amber King and Brave New Future. She's been laying it out for us for many years. So thank you, Jilly, for sending me that. Hollywood, go fuck yourself. Yay, we made it there. I got a few things in here. So everybody's seeing these new facelifts that these Hollywood stars are rolling out, like Kris Jenner and Ariana Grande. They look younger than they looked when they were young. It's so strange. And the hands never lie. They never lie. The hands will always tell you the age of somebody. And a couple of them are getting caught up because of how bad their hands look.
They got her. They got her, you guys. I'm sorry. We are playing Pokemon Go. We are going to catch them all, and we're going to catch them all together. You tell me how Hollywood celebrities are reversing age. How in the world are they going from this to this? It's almost like they're taking on different forms. Zoom in, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. She's looking as young as her character did in Practical Magic almost 30 years ago. But it's not just that. Every female celebrity who is reversing age in Hollywood has hands like this. What is going on? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Take a look at this clip. Speechless. I'm speechless, Nicole. Why did you not play in the WNBA? You could grip my whole head and my shoulder. We've talked about Khloe Kardashian and how her hands went from this to this in a matter of a few years. It's really like she got a full body transformation. But she's not the only one. Kylie does as well. What in the world is going on in Hollywood? And just for fun, can anybody tell me what this means in the comment section? Like, I've seen it on Kesha. It's in one of Justin Bieber's music videos. It was on the back of Doja Cat's head in her music video. What does it mean? But getting back to the point, why are women's hands who are reversing age in Hollywood looking like this? I'd really like to know your answers. And what I also found interesting is that Kim Kardashian applied her new KKW body makeup to her grandma's arms to prove how well it works. And it works all right, but why would you need foundation for your hands? I can imagine this is going to be a huge hit among Hollywood celebrities all over. But I'm telling you right now, something feels off here.
We know what it is. We definitely know what it is. Tell me in the chat if you know what it is. But, ew, gross. A lot of symbolism in there. She's like, tell me what this is. The all-seeing eye? We all know what the all-seeing eye is. So this might creep you out. Ozzy Osbourne's DNA will be sold in a limited edition liquid death cans. If you are drinking liquid death, you are truly drinking liquid death. I'm not even kidding. I've done segments on it. I had a really good friend who was drinking liquid death, and thank God I got her convinced to quit drinking them after sending her quite a few videos. And she was like, holy shit, yeah, no. Don't drink that shit. Don't drink any of that energy drink shit. It's all poison. But, yeah, do you want to be infused with the DNA of Ozzy Osbourne? I think not. I've been to plenty of Ozzy concerts, and, I gotta tell you, even since the 90s, he's been a little disappointing in concert. I mean, he stumbles out there, he mumbles, and, he's got an awesome backup band that puts on a hell of a good show. I mean, he's still Ozzy. I'll always love his music, but him personally, no, I don't want to drink his DNA. Okay, now we've reached the fun part of the show. When AI is fun. This is a new segment I've been rolling out because there's so many AI videos that are dropping on a daily basis, and some of them are funny. So I just thought we would cover a few. So, wrong button. Here we go.
We've just arrived in the colonies because there was some bitching over a tiny 3% tax. Not that big a deal, but whatever, this shit'll be easy.
What the actual fuck? Where the hell are they? Unless they're lined up 10 feet in front of me wearing bright blue uniforms, I can't see them. These guys are such assholes. What kind of a dickhead doesn't line up in a straight line and patiently take turns shooting one another?
Sir, these colonials are worse than gonorrhea. They hide behind trees and pick us off while we pass through single file wearing bright red. And you would know, Corporal, even though we're the superpower of the world, we still don't know how to counter this ingenious tactic of hiding behind trees.
God damn, we've been here 8 years and are just getting our shit pushed in. These boys weren't kidding. They really do hate taxis.
Okay, this is our last stand. We may have a chance if we just... Nope. Shit. Never mind, those ass-smelling French are here. I'm here in place of Cornwallis, because apparently he's really sick today, to deliver terms of surrender to that giant stud right there.
That was pretty funny. Okay, here's another one. This one I thought was cute. I think some can relate.
We're here at the scene where a woman killed her husband because he stepped on the floor while she was mopping. Has the woman already been arrested?
Not yet. We're waiting for the floor to dry.
We are here at the scene where a woman killed her husband because he stepped on the floor while she was mopping. Has the woman already been arrested?
Not yet. We're waiting for the floor to dry.
Not yet. We're waiting for the floor to dry. Sorry, my mic was low. You guys know I've got, let's see, how many audio controls do I have right now? I have 13 audio controls that I'm trying to keep an eye on at all times. My mic, the master sound, the sound for the video clips, it's crazy. So I apologize. Sometimes I get a little low. It's because I'll turn down the master because something's too loud or not loud enough. I try to do a good job of juggling it, but hey, at least I have control of the video clip. That's the main thing. Okay. Now this is if Oregon Trail was on social media. This is cute.
The year 1848, we just sold the farm, buried Nana, and loaded up the fam and our lives into a homemade wooden box with wheels. Oregon or bust. Hey, Trail fam. Quick update. We've reached the Kansas River, and it is massive. Drop a comment. Should we ford it or caulk the wagon and float?
Minor setback. We lost 2 oxen and all our spare wagon wheels. Also, my mother-in-law didn't make it.
Hey guys. Sorry for the lack of content lately. Been dealing with some pretty severe dysentery. But he wanted me to keep the channel going.
Today we're showing you how to treat a snake bite. All you need is a hatchet, a belt, and the courage to scream for 3 straight hours. Let's get into it. Quick life update. Ezekiel has cholera. Doctors are saying it's pretty bad, but we're manifesting positive energy. Anyway, we've made it to Fort Laramie. The vibes here are immaculate. Also, we've decided to leave Ezekiel behind because he was like, really...
What's up, Trail Nation? Today we're doing the hunting challenge. I can only carry 100 pounds back to the wagon, but watch me shoot 10,000 pounds of buffalo meat. Martha, hold the camera.
What's up, Trail Army? Martha here with a major life update. The entire wagon train has dysentery, and we're basically living in our own filth.
Hey, Trail fam. Little update. We are definitely off trail. Haven't eaten in 4 days, but the snow tastes like hope.
So the whole family has typhoid, and Jared broke his leg, but we're... Never mind. Jared just died.
Final update. We made it to Oregon. Actually, it's just me. The fam didn't survive for the finale. Like and subscribe.
Who played Oregon Trail as a teenager or kid? I did. Every lunch, I'd go to the library. We had one computer in the library. We'd all stand around it. It was a blast. That was funny. Okay, one more, and then we're into Meme Alley. This was cute. So we have dueling pets here. Are you a cat person? Are you a dog person? My favorite was the Maine Coon. I love the Maine Coons. Okay, now for all the dog lovers, here's your version. Nice. Oh, the retriever. I love the golden retrievers. Oh, not the standard poodle. Oh, not the beagle. I shared a video of a bunch of beagles that were rescued from the NIH that were former Fauci beagles being rescued and released into the grass for the first time they ever touched grass. So go check it out. It's over on my X. It's super cute. I love a bunch of beagles. Okay, we finally made it to Meme Alley. Let's do Meme Alley and get the hell out of here because I have been up all night and I still got to go to Walmart. Ugh. Something's eating all my plants, so I've got to go get some what is it called, neem oil or whatever. Memes do a better job at reporting current events than the mainstream media. Bingo, and that is why we have Meme Alley. You all know it. You all know that's why we do it. And let's see, how's my sound? I'm good. I can't believe it's World War III season already. I still have my pandemic decorations up. I hope you don't still have your pandemic decorations up. That would be sad. And what do you miss? I miss the way I viewed the world before I knew too much about it. Oh my gosh, that is so true. So true. Like everything I see now, I know the truth behind it, and it makes the world a terrible place to be in. But it's better to know than not to know. Do you know why nobody has ever overdosed on marijuana? Because if you laid out 100 joints and a lighter and told someone to try to smoke all of them, by the fourth joint, they've already lost the lighter, ordered a pizza, and cuddled with the dog and fell asleep. That is so true. That is so true. I can attest to that. So pretending to be happy when you're in pain is just an example of how strong you are as a person. And that goes out to all of you. I know so many of you are fighting your own battles. You're living in pain, but you still get up. You put a smile on your face. You take care of the fams. You go do what you got to do. You go to work. That's what makes us the strong people. That's the strong people are what makes this earth good. And the key to eating healthy is to avoid any food that has a TV commercial. That is sound advice. That is sound advice. Just think, have I seen a commercial for it? If I've seen a commercial for it, I probably shouldn't eat it. Sad but true. And me trying to figure out if I should be getting ready for World War III, another pandemic, the AI takeover, the economic collapse, or all of the above. I would say all of the above. If you've been following us, I think all of the above is what's coming for us. That's just my opinion. I think God's next test for me should be, she handle a ridiculous amount of money? That would be a good test. Let's see if I can handle it. Because you know what I'd do with it? I'd give it to food shelters and pet sanctuaries. I would. I'd probably buy a farm too. Since hair can't be preserved in fossils, we can't rule out the possibility that dinosaurs look like this. Well, actually, we can with the T-Rex because his arms were too short to do ponytails. I'm just saying. Whoever made that meme, you weren't thinking it through. You got to think these things through. And me, after surviving all this shit life's thrown at me so far, boo. Fuck off. Yeah, fuck off. That's exactly how I feel. And if you've ever picked up a rock and thought, and now this is a good rock, then we are family. That I am a rock hound. I've got a car full of rocks right now that I picked up at the beach last week when I was there. I was like, I got to have these rocks for my garden. And I'm not talking little rocks. Like, I was packing big rocks. Like, I need this rock for my garden. I should unload those today and put them in my garden. So, just a reminder that the magic school bus could be inside your ass right now, and you would have no idea. You guys remember the magic school bus? Yeah, it would shrink up and it would go in and show you how blood works. Or so technically, the magic school bus could be up your ass and you wouldn't know it. That was funny. And so close. You missed the target. You missed the target, but you tried. That's all that counts. And point of view. You wake back up in 1996 and it was all just a bad dream. Would you want to wake up back in 1996? Would you? I don't know. I mean, yes and no. I mean, yeah. Okay. Only if the future timeline is not this timeline. Okay, if the future timeline is this timeline, then no, there's no point. But if it's a different future timeline, hell yeah, I'd give it a go. I would give it a go for sure. And Yellowstone officially starts dressing bisons like Mormon missionaries in effect to deter people from approaching the animals. Yeah. Did you hear the story about the dumbass tourists who took their baby up to see a bison and they got charged by it? I mean, it's okay if you endanger your own stupid ass life, but don't be taking your fucking 2-year-old up to pet a bison, you dumb fucks. Every year, every summer, we have to put up with these dumbass tourists who get mauled by bison and bears in the national parks. You can't take a selfie with them. Stop it. And I'm going outside to enjoy the nice breeze. The breeze. I wish it was that way here. Is it hot where you are? It is freaking freezing here, and it has been for like the last 5 days. It's 60 degrees right now and mostly cloudy where I am at. I just want sun. My garden wants sun. Please. I don't care how warm it gets. I will deal with the hot breeze. And when you're dead inside and sick of life, but at least there's cats. At least there's cats. Y'all know I got a new kitty, right? Y'all know I got a new kitty? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show it to you. That's the whole reason I'm going down to Oz. I got to pick up my new baby. I got a new kitty. So I'll be showing off the new baby probably the week after next. And me when it rains and I don't have to water the garden. Oh my gosh, yes. It is such a blessing when it rains and I go, yay, I don't have to go out and fight the hose. I have lost 2 hoses this summer. I am just hemorrhaging money on hoses and it's pissing me off. I've had 2 of them blow up on me and it's just like, ugh. So now I can't reach the garden. I am like 10 feet away from the garden. I have to stand there like trying to shower the garden from 10 feet away. It pisses me off, especially because I've spent so much money on hoses. Things I do in my spare time: I rearrange plants, I pot plants, I repot plants, I propagate plants, I buy plants, I talk to plants, and I water plants. Those are all things I do. It's true. The world right now, me tending to my silly garden to stay sane. Yeah, get out there, get your feet in the ground, get grounded. You are a human being. You are supposed to touch dirt with your feet, and it's so relaxing. It really is. And I think that's it. We made it. Yay. We made it to the end of the show. Happy Monday. We are going to do a show on Saturday. It's so funny. When Oz and I will end Saturday's show, we'll be in the green room after the show and we'll be like, let's take Saturday off. And we'll be like, well, let's play it by ear. And then always by Monday or Tuesday, we're like, okay, let's do a show. If we can. And, we are going all Bond this week, so that'll be fun. Oz is going to bring out the Bond themes. Let's check out what the card is looking like.
This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again.
Oz bringing it with a nice cover again. Good stuff, Oz. Yay. So join us Saturday night, and then we'll be off the following Saturday because we're going to be hanging out together. And, of course, I'm going to get pictures and probably video. Let me turn down. I know that got loud. Sorry, guys. I'm going to get pictures and I'm going to get video, and we will be sharing it all with you probably on Hello Monday, the following, the 7th? I'll be back on the 7th, Monday the 7th. So tune in and check out Oz and I hanging out. Beauty and the Boomer. We love it when we can actually get together in person because you guys know we live about 3 hours apart. So it's always a good time. I've got an amazing closer for you guys. If you want to help me out, all the donation links are in the description box. The GoFundMe and the PayPals are always the best ways to get to me, but you can buy me a coffee too. There's other links in there too. I don't know. I should probably go update those and check them out. I do have immunotherapy on the 2nd and 3rd, so going down to see Oz, I'm going to be a little sick, but that's okay. I suck it up. I do what I got to do no matter what, and there is the PayPal. You guys know you can always get Joey's coffee. Joey's coffee is the best. I still have a little bit from my birthday, and I was contemplating making a pot this morning. I still might. Anyways, okay, let's get the hell out of here. I've got an amazing, amazing closer for you guys, and I just thought it was so fitting for today. It is an Elton John cover of Madman Across the Water. Oz did a great job with it, and I'm just thank you, Oz, so much for engineering my music for the end of these shows. And thank you guys so much for joining me, everybody who tuned in today and came back and found me even after my crash. Hey, it wouldn't be a Monday morning if I didn't have some kind of issue. Anyways. Join us Saturday night and Monday, and yeah, we'll have a good time. Anyways, Man Across the Water, because we got a Man Across the Water for sure. You guys have a great week.
See very well. There's a boat on a reef with a broken back. I can see it very well. And there's a door, and I know it very well. It's one of those once a fool, see very well. There's a boat